Hey everybody, welcome to the second episode of Insight TV. I'm your host of this particular segment, Pay Yourself First. My name's Neil Burchell. I'm a nutritionist of over 20 years, and I bring a unique perspective to the entrepreneur, specifically to the entrepreneur, not so much the business, but the person who is the heart and soul and nucleus of the business, which is you, the creator, the person with the brush, the person stroking the canvas. So this week's topic is labeled complexity. The reason for this is, as entrepreneurs, a lot of us with any experience, any salt in this, a lot of the times the simplest solution is the right one. We tend to overcomplicate things, especially getting into it. If it's your first or even second or third go at it, we have this tendency to, I guess, more or less follow the rules. You know what I mean? Instead of looking at our business as unique and creating this our own niche, we tend to go in with that mindset, but we tend not to follow that behavior pattern. So, overcomplicating things when you've got an idea, a product, a service that is so unique and simple, the worst thing that we could possibly do is overcomplicate it and micromanage it. So our bodies are very much the same way. So what this program is designed to do is to focus on you, again, the heart and soul of your entrepreneurial project. You are everything. You are the here, you are the now, you are the then. So without you, then there is no, fulfillment, there is no outcome, there's no long game. So anyway, let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to hit on was kind of the same way as it's not beneficial to micromanage your business, right? You spread yourself too thin, you're overseeing everything, and before you know it, your business is working you and you're not working your business. You end up feeling trapped, overwhelmed, and that everything is a job, so to speak. Everything is forced. Health-wise, it can take on that same type of ideology, because when you think about the human body is essentially this complex business, right? These systems working cohesively together to manage this what you see, what you do, what you live every day. So when we begin micromanaging those things, when we begin making ourselves healthy, is when the thing starts to fall apart, right? Any great business entrepreneur, any established business company understands that you hire good people, and then when you hire those good people, you let those good people do what it is that they're supposed to do, right? So really the task and the skill and the talent comes within the hiring, the procurement of those individuals with the skill sets that you don't have, in order to help you create that vision that you have. It's not their vision, they're helping you create this vision. So health falls under the same category, the business of being healthy. We tend to micromanage it. We overanalyze a lot of stuff, and we tend to mistake what I like to call the finger for the moon, right? We tend to look at the food nutrients, and we tend to look at weighing and measuring and the structure more so than the body's ability to sort itself out. If we give the body what it needs, it will do what we're asking it to do. It will manage the long hours. It will manage the stress, the highs and lows that entrepreneurship can actually bring to you, and process those things and adapt and be better at it. And having a clear headspace and having, no pun intended, having a clear headspace, having more energy than the day can take from you is a big issue. Because what it does, it breeds creativity. When you've got a surplus of health and you're showing up a little bit earlier than your employees, you're staying a little bit later than your employees, what you're doing is you're leading by example. And that's, in the real world, but also in regards to yourself and your day-to-day, feeling proud of what you've accomplished and staying focused during that time, optimizing your efficiency throughout the day. So you are working hard and smart. It's not one or the other, guys. In this entrepreneurial landscape, in the market out there, it favors the individuals that can work ambidextrous, right? That can be incredibly hardworking, but also incredibly smart and creative at the same time. And if you don't have the health and you don't have the vitality, it's impossible to be able to sustain that type of commitment. So you end up writing checks you can't cash. You end up, starting up this business with all of this, vigor and, getting out there and putting in all of this work. But what's happening is you've started a race, or you've picked a fight that you can't sustain, that you can't win, because you can't stay at that level for very long, right? It's a sprint. And a lot of entrepreneurs get into that. I know myself, I've fallen victim to that, where I've got this beautiful idea, I get out there, bam, and then I just don't have the ability. I just don't have, I didn't think long game. And I ended up wearing myself out, becoming physically tired, psychologically tired, and then because of that, my business suffered because I couldn't keep the pace that I had set for myself. So a lot of it has to do with how you treat yourself, and the business of being healthy. So that's an intricate part that a lot of entrepreneurs bypass because they're so focused on getting established, that they miss the point that they are the ones that are going to be established. They're the ones that are going to have to show up as they get busier and put in the long hours and deal with the psychological issues that come with entrepreneurship, dealing with people if you're coaching, dealing with employees if that's the name of your business, where you're looking at hiring people and being a leader. We lead from the front, not from the back, and a lot of us have difficulty with that because of the fact that we're having difficulty managing what we already have in our day. So let go is one of the things that was taught to me. Is when you bring someone in, let them do their thing, and instead of micromanage them, lead them. And there is a difference, okay? Watch them do their thing, because we have these preconceived notions as to how things are to get done, but there's a reason why we're not maybe an expert in that particular section of our business, or what it is that we're looking to do. It's the same, like our bodies have evolved for millennia. Through lions and tigers and bears and tectonic plate movement. Our bodies are not daffodils. If anything, the worst thing that we've been taught is we have to weigh and measure our food, and we have to predict the future. We have to, forecast our meals for the entire week, entire month, entire year. Like, we have to have everything planned out because the body needs everything, tickety-boo, all lined out. And what entrepreneurship, what this lifestyle has taught a lot of us, is that you can't predict the future, but you can prepare for the future. And that's a big issue, right? I'm 45 years of age, and for me to wake up tomorrow and be caught off guard because I have to eat, it's ludicrous. It'd be like showing up to a job interview or a meeting or a pitch of some sort and having no material, having zero preparedness. And here it is, I knew it was coming, so that's my fault. So if I drop the ball on that, if I shit the bed, it's essentially because I did not prepare. So there's a saying, if you if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail, right? So having accessible foods, foods that are high in nutritional value, so it becomes a more quality over quantity, because as we get increasingly busier, we need to make sure that our bodies are nourished. And it is about nourishment. It's not about the food culture that we have today, where it's taste, color, texture, smell, price, convenience, presentation, right? That's no way to establish a relationship. It's no way to pay an employee. And when you think about it, now here's where we're getting into the heart and soul of the program for the next 10 minutes. Your body is your employee, all right? So you have to pay your employee what it needs, not what we want, okay? Which is really kind of a great thing. Because a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we're looking at, how do we price ourselves? You don't want to underprice yourself. You don't want to undercut your services, right? You want to value your time, your insight, your skill set. So when you think about that in regards to your body actually working for you, our minds are racing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're creators, we're artists. This is the lore of what it is that we do. But the body's the one that has to get it done. It's the one that's putting in the long days. It's the one that's feeling the stress. It's carrying this heavy, heavy head that we have with everything that's being loaded up in there and everything that we're trying to project out there. So we have to pay the body what it needs. So imagine you as a business owner hiring someone and sitting down at that, stage and saying, okay, looking them straight in the eyes and saying, okay, what is it that you need in order for you to come work for me, right? What do you need? Is it $45,000 a year? Is it $65,000 a year? What do you need so that when you come to work, you can come to work with a clear mind and you can come to work energized in order to give me what it is that I need, what I'm asking you to do, and so that you can fulfill that and maybe even exceed my expectations, because you feel valued, because you're getting paid accordingly, right? Then you have not just an employee, you have a part of your company. You have someone who's valuing a career. It's not looking at it as a job. So physiologically, biochemically, this is what the body is actually feeling, because what we do is we neglect the body's needs, right? We get increasingly busy. We pay the body in regards to food. The body looks at food as payment. It's actual currency, right? So what do? We pay our most loyal employee when we feel like it, what we feel like paying it. And there's no relationship established there. There's no company dedication. Especially when you're not showing it to your employee, right? Your number one employee, the one that's showing up every day, the one that's there with you every step of the way. So by having a little bit more, savvy when it comes to that, when you do eat, you're making it count, and you're creating a bit of a routine, right? Almost like a direct deposit paycheck, so that every day you're actually giving your body what it needs in order to ask, in order for it to do what you want it to do. So the body can budget, and then all of a sudden the body is less stressed, and it's actually coming into work a little early. It's doing a little bit more. It's warding off illness, and it's fighting off pathogens, bacterial, viral. And then all of a sudden you're able to show up to work with a little bit more energy. You're spending less time half-assing it because you're not feeling well, right? So over a year, you've put in more work. You've showed up the same 365 days of that year as every other entrepreneur. But the thing is your quality has been better. So at the end of the year, you've actually put in more work because you were able to work harder and smarter. So coming to work and thinking about, okay, what does my day look like? Well, Neil, I really don't have a scheduled day right now. It's everywhere, okay? Every day looks different. I'm like, excellent. That is your routine, right? Inconsistency done consistently is your norm. I used to be a firefighter. I'd go into work, I had no idea what was going on. But did it mean that I neglected my health? Because if my health disintegrated, then I wasn't any good for anybody. And I wouldn't want a person, a firefighter showing up to a scene where life was at risk, and that firefighter wasn't running on all cylinders. That firefighter wasn't feeling 100%. I need someone there who's 100%. And this landscape that we're all involved in is no different, right? For a lot of us, it might not be the typical or the traditional life or death scenario, but a lot of us have put our heart and souls into our businesses. And really, when I say that, it's really not true, because we're neglecting our heart and soul, right? We're putting our minds into our businesses, and we're taught to say these things, but we're not really understanding the full gravity of what it is that we're saying. Our heart and soul. what encompasses, what encases our heart and our soul, and what are we doing for our heart and our soul to be able to balance this whole big issue and to hold this big heavy head up that is, thinking and dreaming and, really wanting the management, really wanting to push forward. What's actually doing the pushing? And it's our bodies. So being prepared every day, okay, not micromanaging your body, not weighing and measuring and have everything laid out to the ounce for every day this week, because what that does is it creates a hermetically sealed environment, and it disables the body's natural biological ability to adapt. If things get too structured, then what happens is you become too rigid, and anything that's rigid breaks. Whereas we want to think about flexibility, plasticity. We want to be able to be flexible like bamboo, not rigid like a cement column. And what happens is as the entrepreneurial landscape changes and shifts, we're able to move and shift with it, and it creates the long-term structure that is going to build our business. And as the business evolves and it diversifies and changes color, texture, shape, and smell, we're able to manage those changes because of our ability to adapt. So too much structure, everybody, can be very, very detrimental to your health and the health of your business, because you are your business. All right. We sometimes look at people and we emulate the ones that are super structured. And what happens is in the long game, a lot of those people, they crack under the pressure. They build up a lot of momentum. They're out of the gate strong, but when it comes to the long game, they end up buckling. They end up burning themselves out. So we have to look at those lessons, and we have to, understand that if I do what they do, then I'll have the same outcome that they have. So it is about flexibility. So in future programs, what I'm going to go through is, the whole structure of why we are gatherer hunters and how physiologically the body's set up to allow us to optimize ourselves psychologically. If we can let the body do what it naturally does and evolve and actually get stronger, right? Because the body looks at external stimuli as stimulating, exactly that way. Whereas if we show up every day and we're malnourished, we're not giving the body what it needs. What happens is the body sees the same stimuli as stress, and that's a big issue. All right, because stress is catabolic. Stress causes breakdown, where stimuli causes advancement. It causes growth and development. There's a really cool talk by Simon Sinek in regards to him working with like top level people, and him working with average everyday people as well. But he says there was something that he picked up on, and I thought this was, again, a brilliant, insightful statement, and it shows how this man's mind thinks. He said, when he talks to a professional athlete or like a top level performer, either in athletics or music or business, and they're about to do something incredible, like a lot is at stake, they have to quote unquote perform. When asked if they're nervous, they tend to use a different dialogue when articulating that emotion. They tend to use, well, I'm excited, right? Because the average person, he found, was, yes, I'm would use words like scared, nervous, apprehensive, those types of things. So kind of a negative connotation, a negative dialogue versus an excitatory dialogue, like anticipating greatness. The reason for that is the fact that they're prepared. They're so trained. They're so excellent at what it is that they do that they just are actually excited about the opportunity to perform instead of proving themselves. They've already proven themselves. They know that they can handle this. So it's the matter of just kicking the door open and seeing what's on the other side. Whereas the average everyday person is nervous because they don't fully believe in themselves. They don't fully feel like they've been prepared for this. So when you enter your day and you feel energetic and you feel like you've got this pillar, this solid built foundation underneath you, you end up looking at your day and the things that happen every day as a stimulation, as a challenge, as opposed to overwhelming, right? And then with that balance and with that ability to see that, today is challenging because I've got this health and I've got more than the day can take from me, I have a surplus. You're able to come home at the end of the day, spend time with your family, with loved ones, friends. You're able to market, network, these types of things. And these things actually contribute to your health. These things actually contribute to your energy as opposed to pulling from it. It's the same situation, right? So these people that he spoke with were stepping into the same environment, but they both had different perspectives, different views of the environment. And that's what's changing the environment. It's not the environment itself, it's us within our environment. So the ability to go to work, nourish your body every day, your body starts to see as your work, your career, your passion, your vision as something that is stimulating. And the body literally adapts and makes it so what we do doesn't become easier, we become stronger, right? And then all of a sudden the growth takes place. You start to progress, not digress. Whereas if you're going every day and you're pushing and grinding and it hurts and you come home and every day seems to be building up on the other day and there's a deficit accumulating, eventually the bill comes due and you end up crashing and burning, okay? So this is the point of this particular program, why paying yourself is so incredibly important in this entrepreneurial landscape, is because you are your business. That's it, right? Mic drop, done. Right? Without you, the stuff that you're doing will not exist. Tomorrow does not happen. So having the flexibility of, understanding how the food works and what your body needs in terms of payment, all of a sudden this first employee that you have is your right hand, your lieutenant, your XO, right? It's going to progress you through and give you what it is that you need in order to manifest the vision that you have up here, okay? So preparing every day is important, but don't be too structural, okay? Make sure that you're bringing good, nutritious food, and what that is, we'll get into, all right? This is a step-by-step scenario here. I can't give the cow away with the milk, especially where it's like learning how to dance, right? You have to learn the basic movements first. You have to learn the history of the dance. Why do you want to learn to dance? Why is this? Why are you passionate about this? And then you get into the basic moves. And then those moves get a little bit more complicated because you've learned the basic moves. And those complicated moves don't feel so complicated. And then all of a sudden, you're putting your own flair to it. And before you know it, you're dancing. You're an artist. And this is what we do, everybody, right? We want people to look at us. We want people to see our value in what we're offering them in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be, a product. It can be a service. It can be anything. And when you're falling apart behind the scenes and you're putting up a good front, that takes a lot of energy from you, and that's energy that you could be allocating towards actual growth instead of just keeping your head above water, okay? And you're able to see things in a different perspective, which means that the outcomes start to shift, right? You're seeing things that others won't because your head is held higher and your eyes are more open, you're more aware. So it starts with not overcomplicating nutrition, all right? The body is the most complex organism in the known galaxy. It's already figured it out, all right? We don't have to figure it out. We have to listen to it. And when you're so busy in your life focusing on developing what it is that you're trying to develop, you have to be able to listen to your employee. You have to be able to listen to what it is that it needs, because it's the one that's actually doing the work. Do you understand where I'm going now that we're coming full circle with this? Is if you can give your body what it needs nutritionally, and everybody's unique that way, and that's what we're going to be talking about is individual nutrition, hunter-gatherer, gatherer-hunter, different body structures, these types of things that you should know about yourself going into this, so that you can identify what it is that you need, right? Because it's not what 50,000 other people your height, your weight, your age need. Our culture is showing us that. chronic illness is rampant and is getting worse every year because we keep following the same path, right? In business, that's suicide. If we keep trying to do what others have failed to do before us, then we're no better than them, right? We need to do things not better, but different. And this is definitely taking things to the different side, right? No one's out there saying, hey, you need to listen to your body. Everybody's out there, hey, you need to do this. You need to listen to me. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need to listen to your body. Let me help you understand what it is that your body's telling you through all of these different, avenues, and then all of a sudden you're going to have the best relationship that you possibly can with your number one employee. So you've got someone that you can trust, someone that you don't have to micromanage, someone that's going to put in the hours with you, right? It's going to be there every step of the way, has as much interest in what it is that you're creating than you do. All right, the same interest is going to put in and spill the blood, the sweat, and the tears, because that's what this employee's here to do, as long as it's given its just reward. Okay, if you can give the body what it wants, it will do what you ask it to do, and it will ask for more. And that's the edge. That's what so many people fall on their face about, is they get to this point of success and they can't hold it up. They were the dog chasing the car, all right? And when they got there, they got run over. So that's not going to be you. And it's brilliant that, I'm very flattered to be asked to be part of this program, because River sees it. Us experienced entrepreneurs that have been put through the ringer more than once, more than twice, more than 5 times, but continue to get back up. It's because we've got the health to be able to do it, right? We get back up because we've got that energy. We've got that X factor, right? And if you don't think you have that X factor, it's time to, put your money where your mouth is, right? Get that X factor, get that health, established. Get what, right now in New Brunswick alone, 67% of us are dealing with 2 or more chronic illnesses, right? So when you think about it, if you're looking for that competitive edge, let's get healthy, everybody. There's a reason why when you walk into a room full of very successful entrepreneurs, right? Where are the unhealthy people, right? Where are the people that look like they're struggling to get through their day? Where are the people that are sitting there and they're grumpy and they hate their product, they hate their job, they just, right? That's a very small percentage of it. But when you go out into the job market and you look at the employees of a lot of, these companies and these 9-to-5ers, you look at and you see that. You see these people that are just getting through their day. There's a reason why we're gravitating towards where it is that we are. So in order to make that, to have that manifest itself, we need to do a lot of things differently than what the other group of demographics are doing, right? The 9-to-5ers, right? If we want more time, we want more health, we want more financial security, we want to contribute, then we have to do things differently than the ones that aren't concerned with doing that. And then all of a sudden, we've identified ourselves, right? It creates a complete picture, a complete structure for us, okay? So anyway, I'm running on 30 minutes here, everybody. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to be, I want to get some information out there. I want you to start thinking about stuff as opposed to, asking for answers. What we should be doing is looking for information and formulating our own answers, because the only answer that really matters is the one that you believe in, all right? And with health being as deplorable and as rare as it is today, I think it's something that we all should be concerned about, because it is an investment in your business, right? You want to be there to see this through. You want to be there to, this is your dream. So health is a big part of that dream. If you're not healthy, then your business isn't healthy, and that's really the nuts and bolts of this. So I think next week when I'm on, we're going to start talking about how to plan your day, right? Not necessarily how to control your day, because you cannot control external circumstances, but we can control how we respond to those external circumstances. We could do it psychologically, but also we could do it physiologically as well. So what does your day look like in regards to your food, right? Kind of broad picturing it so that we can work to fine tune it. Just broader ideas. So instead of giving you a keyhole perspective, I want to try and broaden your perspective. And in that broader perspective, you're going to see a lot more angles to maneuver this minefield to get you from point A to point B. Okay? Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Love being here. And anyway, any feedback or anything that you can give myself or the Headspace team or Rivers himself, please don't hesitate. And topics or ideas are always welcome as well. I'll be introducing guests eventually. Right now, it's just kind of laying the groundwork. Okay, baby steps. Gotta crawl before we can walk, and gotta walk before we can run. Thanks, everybody.